Coming up next on this edition of In the City, Murfreesboro Parks and Rec hosts a ribbon cutting for Phase 2 of the North Greenway at the Central Valley Trailhead. Also, 2 John Pittard Elementary students are state finalists for their design to detect concussions in football players. Plus, time to clean out the garage. The city, county, and state are teaming up for a hazardous waste collection. And the Vita Free Tax Prep program is back and going on now. We'll tell you all about those stories and more coming up right now on this edition of In the City. Welcome to another edition of In the City, your source for what's happening right here in the city of Murfreesboro. I'm Michael Linn White. The North Greenway Phase 1 took the Greenway from Walter Hill Dam to Central Valley Trailhead. The Phase 2 ribbon cutting celebrated the expanded Greenway northwest toward Smyrna.
The Murfreesboro Parks and Recreation Department recently hosted a ribbon cutting for Phase 2 of the Greenway at Central Valley Trailhead off of Central Valley Road. The ribbon cutting for Phase 1 was December 14th, 2016. Phase 1 goes from Walter Hill to the Central Valley parking lot, 1.3 miles.
So Phase 2 entails 2 miles of new asphalt, so it makes a lollipop design, and when the loop comes back on itself, it would be 3 miles if you started at the parking lot, went out and came back. This is a Army Corps of Engineer project, and so they're the ones that fully funded it. They designed it and built it.
I am very humbled and excited to be here. You know, one of the privileges of being a commander with these long-term projects that have taken so much effort, so much coordination, so much partnering, is when you get to come out for the ribbon cutting and stand there in those kind of pictures. The one other thing that really struck me about this project is just the history of it. Walter Hill, early 1800s, an old mill site. 1912, Murfreesboro Light and Power Company constructed dam and hydroelectric station. And TVA and City of Murfreesboro purchased it, producing power in 41, and then currently leased to the City of Murfreesboro. And so just in the history of this one area, I think a lot of what makes Tennessee so unique and special.
So it really goes back to former Congressman Bart Gordon. So he was instrumental years ago appropriating money in Congress for all of Murfreesboro greenways. This was, he went back to Congress and was able to get more money for this section of it. And so it was a federal project from that standpoint.
My former boss, Congressman Bart Gordon, funded the first part, was out of office, so he was a constant thorn in Senator Alexander's side, talking about how we needed the money to take it another step.
So this is an established horse trail. It's been a horse trail for many, many years here in Murfreesboro. It's always been on Corps property. The horse trail runs parallel to the asphalt trail. It does have 2 different crossings, and so the horses and the people flip-flop 3 different times, and that just shares the view shed of the river.
You're fine.
Are we ready? Yep. Can I get a drum roll? 3.
1, 2, 3.
Two students from John Pittard Elementary developed a design that measures the impact force of head trauma for football players in real time.
A growing health concern is the number of concussions football players sustain during a season. This head trauma can have long-lasting side effects and is not always detectable by the player at the time of impact. Several people are working on ways to accurately measure the force of a hit, including 2 students right here in Middle Tennessee.
My name is Faith, and I'm in 5th grade, and I go to John Pittard Elementary School.
Hi, my name is Maya, and I'm in 5th grade, and I go to John Pittard Elementary School.
We went to the statewide STEM conference, and our project was to help football players to know their concussions and to see if they should continue playing into the game.
While the girls were discussing ideas for their project, A news story gave them some inspiration.
So we read about this story on the news about a football player from the Miami Dolphins that recently got an injury on his head from a concussion from getting a really impact force from another football player. So we came up with a way to measure the force when the football player gets attacked by another football player.
So we were talking, and then we came up with this idea on we should put sensors inside the helmets to track their concussions. And then we started doing research about concussions.
So when we did our research, we found that some of the symptoms of having a concussion could be forgetting that you have a concussion, memory loss, nausea, and confusion. So we did some research about like how often football players have concussions, and surprisingly, it was a lot.
And then after that, we started like doing the drawing on how we want it to look. And we did, and then we started like making changes to it. Then after that, we wrote our thing to enter into the competition. After we finished doing that, we made a few more changes to the sensors and to like the drawing to make it look better. So where all the tape is and where Maya's pointing is where we wanted to put the sensors, like all around the head, because if the sensors are right here and they got hit over here, we won't know where they got hit. So we decided to put it all around the helmet, and all the data will go to the coaches and the nurses.
The sensors work by sending information to the coaches or the nurses about how hard that they got hit. It doesn't only measure the force of the helmet to the helmet, it also measures the force of when the player hits the ground. The data from the sensors gets sent to the coaches and the nurses, and it's on a scale of 1 to 10, from 10 being the highest and 1 being the lowest. Like if it's a 1 through 4, they could miss out the rest of the game and get more x-rays about what's happening to their skull. But if it's a 5 and higher, they shouldn't play for the rest of the season or play for the next couple of games.
The girls submitted their project proposal and soon afterward were notified that they were chosen as state finalists.
So we went to Nashville at the Titan Stadium where we presented our project to groups of scientists and teachers. All the scientists and teachers that came up to our project were really amazed at what we created, and then they had a lot of interesting questions.
A lot of them were amazed on what grade we were. When we presented it afterwards, they were like, wow, because we were like in 5th grade and we came up with all of this. And they said that it was a really good idea.
After the competition, the girls learned that a group from Columbia University was working with a company in Chicago on a similar design.
So we had a company email us from Chicago that created something similar to our idea. And they were really impressed about how we're in 5th grade and they're all the way in Chicago and made something similar to ours.
The girls want to continue working on their design and hope to find someone who can help them develop a working prototype. So, one day these young girls might be part of helping prevent long-term effects from concussions. For CityTV, I'm John Padgett.
It's time to clean out the garage and bring those hazardous materials to the hazardous waste collection off of Florence Road to keep these materials out of the landfill.
So April 1st is the Household Hazardous Waste Roundup, facilitated by the state and the county. The city offers the actual facility, so it's going to be at our mulching facility on Florence Road. Just bring in any hazardous waste that you can normally not throw away in the curbside collection or at the convenience centers. This is a good opportunity to bring that and get rid of it.
One of the more popular items residents have in the garage is paint. Paint will not be accepted, but Gossett says you can dispose of latex paint curbside if you do it properly.
So typically your latex paint can be collected actually curbside as long as you follow the protocol to dry it out. Kitty litter, oil dry, whatever you want to put in it will absorb it, and we can take that curbside trash.
Used oil is also a popular item. Gossett talks about what you can do with that year-round.
If it's your oils, your used gasoline, old gasoline, whatever, different auto parts stores and places like that will take it all the time. This is a good place that if you've got a lot of stuff that's just different variety, bring it in and we'll get rid of it. We just offer the facility because it is a good central location for the county. Plus the benefit for the city is, if city residents are using this opportunity, this means it's less trash, less hazardous waste that we have to worry about curbside. So it's a good opportunity. City and county residents can use this opportunity to dispose of it. So the only gate that's going to be open is going to be the general public gate, which is the one closest to the Dollar General on Florence Road. If you go all the way down Broad Street, hang the left onto Florence from the red light, that's going to be your first entrance that you see there on your right. And that'll be the only gate that's open. It's going to be our entrance and our exit gate. So it will back up, right at 8 o'clock. A word of suggestion would be wait 30 to 45 minutes to get there. If you're able to wait until 9 o'clock to get there, the line's usually already through and you can come in and out. And then usually right around lunchtime, right before we close it off, it'll back up again. So you'll come in the queue line, you'll tell us whatever you have, and we'll point you in the right direction. There'll be a couple of 3 or 4 different places where you can dispose of depending on what it is. We'll make sure somebody is there to meet you, greet you, and tell you exactly where to go and what to do from there.
So again, mark your calendars. Household Hazardous Waste Collection, Saturday, April 1st, 8 a.m. to noon at 4765 Florence Road. Clean out that garage and keep it out of the landfill.
For a list of acceptable and unacceptable items, go to the city's website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. On the homepage, click on the Hazardous Waste Collection Spotlight story to get the exact list of what is and what is not accepted. It's time to start preparing your taxes, and if you qualify, a tax professional will prepare them for free through the free Vita Tax program going on now. The Vita program is a great free resource for our community. Now through April 13th, Murfreesboro's Patterson Park Community Center is one of 3 Rutherford County in-person Vita locations.
Today we are kicking off our 12th season of the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Program, which is VITA for short. And so this is for families and households who earn $70,000 or less.
Residents can have their taxes prepared for free by a trained and certified volunteer, so they are able to retain their refund and not have to pay tax prep fees. United Way partners with the IRS and the Nashville Alliance for Financial Independence.
So one of our primary goals at United Way is improving financial stability for families in our community. So this is a program that plays right into that, and as part of VITA, they also have an opportunity to be connected to so many other services that our United Way provides that may help them beyond the tax prep season.
The Earned Income Tax Credit is one of the nation's largest anti-poverty programs. You can make appointments online or by contacting the United Way. To take advantage of these programs and to check if you qualify, visit yourlocaluw.org/VITA or simply call 211. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. CPR and the use of an AED are 2 of the most common skills a firefighter uses in their job. We learn the basics of these skills, which could be life-saving in case you're witness to a medical emergency.
There's been more talk in the country about CPR and AEDs, or automated external defibrillators, in the wake of NFL player Damar Hamlin collapsing on the field. We visited with the Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Department to talk about the importance of knowing CPR and having an AED on hand for medical emergencies.
CPR is the most important thing that you can start on somebody, and then the next important thing you can do is, of course, call 911 and get everybody activated, and then the next thing we need to do is find out if there's an AED around. Okay, if there's an AED available, we absolutely want to get that and get it put on that patient.
When do we do this?
We perform CPR weekly. Maybe not every station, but as a department, we perform CPR weekly. Anyone that carries a medical license has to be recertified every 2 years.
Captain Wittenberg goes through steps of what to do if somebody collapses and is in need of medical attention. First scenario is when there's not an AED available.
Whenever we get on the scene, the first thing we always do is make sure our scene is safe. We're going to come up, tap and shout, hey, 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 are you okay? There's no response. I'm going to look for breathing. I'm either going to do that by placing a hand on their chest or putting my face down next to theirs, trying to feel that breath. There's no breathing. I'm going to have somebody call 911. To start our compressions, we're going to come to the center of the patient's chest. You're going to put one hand down. You're going to put the other hand over. You're going to interlace your fingers. You want to kind of rock your hand back on the chest so you're actually doing compressions with the heel of your hand. You want to keep your arms straight. You want to keep them locked out. We really want to do compressions from our hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30. Okay, then we take our breathing barrier, place that over the face. We want to push straight down into the face, do a head tilt chin lift, which opens the airway, lifts the tongue out of the back of the throat, and then we're going to give a breath until we see the chest rise. We're going to give 2 breaths, and then we're going to get right back on our compressions. If I don't have any kind of breathing barrier, then we can just do continuous compressions. I'm not stopping at 30. I'm just going to keep compressing this person's chest. So every 2 minutes, we want to reassess our patient to see if they may be breathing.
This scenario is when there is an AED available.
Once that AED arrives, the most important thing that you can do is turn it on. Once you turn the device on, it's going to walk you through everything that you need to do next.
Unit OK. If patient is a child, press child button.
This one actually has a child button feature that would take it from an adult dose to a pediatric dose.
Remove pad package.
It's going to tell you to take the pad package out, and we're going to place it on our patient. They're all going to have diagrams on here on where to place the pads. Upper right chest, lower left abdomen, and then it also, for this model, it has this puck that sits in the chest that actually gives us that feedback.
Don't touch patient. Analyzing.
Okay, so it's analyzing the heart rhythm there.
Don't touch patient. Analyzing. Shock advised.
It recognized one of the 2 rhythms that we want to shock. You want to make sure everybody's clear. We're going to push our shock button.
Shock delivered.
The shock's been delivered.
Start CPR.
And then it's going to tell us to start CPR.
The tone.
Remember, every 2 minutes, this is going to automatically reanalyze for you.
Stop CPR.
Okay, so we're stopped. We're going to analyze.
No shock advised.
Okay, so there's no shock advised.
CPR.
Okay, the biggest thing here is with your AED, never turn it off, never take it off. Leave this AED on the patient. If it says no shock advised, it's okay. In 2 more minutes, it's going to reanalyze for us again. So we might be able to shock at that point.
Captain Wittenberg wants to encourage citizens of any age to take CPR class, which will also cover AED training.
It's easy to learn. A basic CPR class takes about 2 hours. There are several places right here in Murfreesboro that teach CPR. All CPR classes are going to talk about AEDs as well. And then you can go a little bit farther and do maybe a first aid class along with that.
The Rutherford County Health Department's Community Baby Shower helps hundreds of families with baby essentials and learning opportunities.
So since 2015, we have been very fortunate to host the Community Baby Shower here at Patterson Park Community Center. And so we are in our 8th year of the Community Baby Shower being hosted here. We have educational workshops. We have over 50 vendors here taking place. And we are so grateful to this community for the love that they continue to give to our new and expectant families, and are looking forward to being able to continue to shower them with all of these amazing resources.
The Community Baby Shower is once again a big success thanks to the Rutherford County Health Department, along with generous help from sponsors and the community.
250 diaper bags that had baby essential items in it, such as diapers, wipes, onesies. We also were able to add some cute little fun toys in there for those new and expecting moms, so they can really be able to shower their loved ones.
After being postponed because of COVID, this year's event is back and better than ever. Thousands of items were collected to give out to new parents and expecting families, and classes like breastfeeding and infant safety are just a small part of the many resources available to participants.
We have grown exponentially over the past 8 years. We started off in the small cafeteria area here at Patterson Park Community Center, and now we are taking over the entire adult gym, as well as 2 workshops that are taking place, and then car seat safety checks that are taking place outside in the front.
If you missed this event and need assistance, or for more information, contact the Rutherford County Health Department. There are lots of resources available here in Rutherford County for families and children of all ages.
So the Community Baby Shower showers so many new and expectant families with lots of love and resources, and for me that has been the pinnacle of this event. Being able to have those resources and being able to have those supports in place truly does mean a lot, not only to those who come in and receive the event, but also for those who are actually coming and giving. And so for me, as a new mom, 8 years ago, I didn't know what to expect. And to have a community resource such as this meant the world to me. And so I'm so grateful that we can continue to shower and pour into these new and expecting families.
Main Street Murfreesboro honors local businesses and people who work hard to keep our downtown thriving. For the past 37 years, the Main Street organization has worked to keep our downtown healthy and growing.
We're having our annual celebration where we award the design awards for downtown and the Business of the Year award. So we're getting to acknowledge the work that these building and business owners have put into their buildings and the work that they've done giving back to the community.
Under the direction of Sarah Callender and her staff, downtown Murfreesboro is thriving thanks in part to local businesses who choose to locate here and invest their time and money in making it a special place.
To choose to be downtown in the historic district is a choice that, along with it comes a responsibility for history and to keep your building up. And it's a lot more work than, say, in another area that's more new. And so this allows a time for us to recognize those business owners who've chosen to be in the historic downtown.
For the 2 design awards given, these are historic buildings that have been renovated to keep the authenticity of the building. Elizabeth Allen, owner of a successful women's boutique, moved her headquarters to North Front Street. The space was beautifully renovated, providing a bright and welcoming environment for employees.
She is over where the Smotherman's Antique building used to be, and so she added the whole building. It's beautiful, and it really adds to that Lytle Street area, and just updating it and renovating it and revitalization of that part of the downtown.
The second design award goes to KDGI Architects.
So they're on the corner of Maple and Main Street, and they've got a beautiful building that they renovated inside themselves.
The Main Street Awards are also a way to let the community know just how much work goes into maintaining downtown and to highlight new local businesses.
This is also a time for us to acknowledge all of the work that's been done downtown, the new businesses that have started, and the board members who are on Main Street, because Main Street is a nonprofit organization and it is run by a volunteer board and volunteer committees. So we like to acknowledge those who are stepping down and welcome those who are coming on.
Among other awards are Business of the Year and the Doug Young Leadership Award given to Rutherford County Commissioner Shanto Serino. For more information about the Main Street organization, visit mainstreetmurfreesboro.org. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. As part of the monthly Storytime theme, kids at Patterson Park get a hands-on look at some of the equipment used to keep our roads safe thanks to the street department. Kids at Patterson Park get a special treat with a hands-on look at some construction vehicles used by the Murfreesboro Street Department.
We are doing a presentation for the kids at Patterson Park Community Center with dump trucks, patch trucks, and a backhoe.
Every month for Storytime, there's a different theme, and this month's was construction. So what better place to turn than our very own hard-working street department?
Teaching them about the patch truck, which does the potholes in Murfreesboro, the backhoe, which does a little bit of everything, and then the dump truck, same thing, does a little bit of everything.
Along with getting to see the trucks, kids make crafts and read books all about the theme. It's a great way to engage children and their family and to learn and see something new.
That's pretty cool. I like it. I love kids, so to see them being excited, I'm cool with that.
With lots of fun things to do, there was one thing that was a favorite of the group.
With the kids, probably the backhoe. They like that one because they're able to get up in it and not supposed to push no buttons, but I'm pretty sure they're going to hit a few.
For more information on upcoming events at Patterson and other parks facilities, visit murfreesboroparks.com. For CityTV, Michael Linn White. We are excited that we partnered with PAWS of Rutherford County in 2022 to bring you the pet of the month. Here's the newest pet, Bosley. Bosley is a playful 1-year-old Rottweiler mix, and he's here to have a good time and also serves as the protector of his household. He is full of agility, energy, and speed, but don't let that fool you. He loves to please. PAWS says Bosley is sweet, well-behaved, and a great listener and loves treats. This is a great combination for learning new tricks, which he is also very good at. Bosley came in as a stray and currently weighs 57 pounds. He has proven to be independent when taken out, but loves the best of both worlds as he also enjoys cuddles and pets. Bosley is neutered and up to date on all vaccines. For more information about Bosley or other dogs and cats available for adoption, contact PAWS at 615-898-7740 or email them at paws@rutherfordcountytn.gov. There have been some staff changes at the City of Murfreesboro in the Development Services Division following the appointment of Sam Huddleston as Assistant City Manager. Greg McKnight is the newly appointed Director of Development Services. McKnight has served as Murfreesboro Planning Director since 2020. Kevin Jones is appointed Director of Building and Codes after serving as Assistant Director for 7 years since November 2016. Robert Holtz is appointed as Director of Community Development after serving as Director of Building and Codes since 2016 and began his career with the City of Murfreesboro in August 1996 as a plans examiner. Mayor Shane McFarland recognized Murfreesboro Fire Rescue firefighters Daniel Carter and Josh Walker with STARS Awards Thursday, February 16, 2023 for their selfless act in responding to a motor vehicle crash in Cannon County. Justin Harris, Director of EMS in Cannon County, emailed the following description to Murfreesboro Fire Rescue Interim Chief Mark McCluskey. Chief McCluskey, we have several of your people do EMT clinicals with us quite often, and it's always nice to have them. Their skills are always sharp, and their help is top-notch. The reason for the email today is to send commendation of 2 of your firefighters that rolled up on a bad motor vehicle crash this morning in our county. Around 7:45, we had a small SUV pull out in front of a semi-truck traveling at 65 miles per hour on Highway 70, causing a high-speed T-bone type collision. This was a very ugly wreck with an extremely critical patient. Your guys were the first people to drive up on the scene, and they immediately stopped and went into action. Upon my arrival, they were assisting my crew in the back of the ambulance and did all the way until the patient was on the helicopter at the scene. Their help was invaluable to the crew and the patient. It was nice to work alongside some MFRD personnel again. These 2 men's names were Josh Walker and Daniel Carter. You should be proud of these 2 for their selfless act and the great outlook it gave to your department. The STARS Service Excellence Program recognizes outstanding employees who embody the city's standards for service, excellence, and exemplify the city's core service values. Well, that's it for this edition of In the City. As always, for more information about the City of Murfreesboro or any of the stories you've seen here, you can always visit our website at www.murfreesborotn.gov. And if you want to see any of the stories that you've seen today or catch up on some of the latest city news, you can always visit the City of Murfreesboro's YouTube channel. I'm Michael Linn White, and until next time, we look forward to seeing you in the city.